Our special guest again is the associate pastor at St. Matthew's Episcopal Church, and Mother Janie Koch.
Yes.
And she's allowed us to call her Janie today to simplify things. Thank you so much. Janie, tell us a little bit about yourself. We know you're a school teacher, but you're also from that foreign country, you said, of Texas. Just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved here at St. Matthew's.
I am, like you said, school teacher. I teach high school English at Oklahoma Bible Academy and love it, love my students. And I was in youth ministry for several years and moved here to Enid about 4 years ago and went through the process of being ordained as a priest and was priested about a little over a month ago. And I'm now, like you said, an associate priest, a curate, and it's kind of like a priest in training. And so I'm in that process right now and at St. Matthew's.
And we may have a picture. I believe you're on the front page of the paper here recently. Yes. And I don't know if we have that picture. There we go. Thank you, Pen, for doing that. So there you are.
And that's the bishop. That's our bishop, Bishop Ed Konechny. And he was there to go through this service and the ordination process. So it was on September 1st, and other members of the clergy came from all over Oklahoma, and I had some students that were there as well, celebrating that day with me.
Okay.
Congratulations. That sounds like a very fun time.
Yes, thank you.
Speaking of St. Matthew's, you have an event coming up, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have our annual Diocesan Convention, and it starts November 1st and goes through the next several days. And this is where members of the clergy from all over the state come and celebrate, and we do the some business of the church as well. And it's just a really good time for us to gather and connect with one another before we go into the busy Advent and Christmas season.
Before we went on the air, Janie, you mentioned something about this annual convention typically is held in Tulsa or Oklahoma City.
Yes.
So this is a very big deal that it's in Enid. And you said 350 clergy and leaders from all across Oklahoma show up in Enid. How special is that?
That is amazing. It's a wonderful opportunity for us at St. Matthew's and for Enid to have this. I believe it's been over 10 years since convention has been here in Enid. And so I'm glad to have it here at home in our backyard and to have other members of our clergy all over the state to come here and to celebrate together. So.
And that's just 2 weeks away, right?
Yes, it is.
It's really close.
Starts on November 1st.
And there's a bunch of different workshops there. So what kind of workshops are they having?
Well, we have several different workshops, some that work with how we can do evangelism, and then other workshops that deal with how to deal with your budget, or how can we reach out to have ecumenical services where we work with other denominations and create a sense of unity. So, and each focus on a certain aspect of our church and what we do together as not just Episcopalians, but as the church body.
Mm-hmm.
Janie, I'm sure in a convention setting you always have keynote speakers with the workshops and everything like that. Are there some key names that you can share with us? Who's coming to Enid to speak?
Well, we have Mark Van Covering, and he will be coming and doing several different workshops with us, but he's our key focus in terms of leading this particular convention. And we also have other priests that will be involved in leadership in different capacities as well.
And do you know where they're coming from? I mean, are they from Oklahoma City? Are they from...
They'll be from Oklahoma City, they'll be from Tulsa, and other churches that are around the state.
So there'll be people coming from all over the place.
Yes.
So it's going to be huge. That'll be a great place to go
Yes.
to. There's your ministry fair too, isn't there? So is that a different event, or what is your ministry fair?
We have here, we'll have that as a part of our convention.
Okay.
And so it starts on November 1st, and we begin at St. Matthew's. And we'll have a service at St. Matthew's and a reception for us all to gather and be able to connect before we go into our business and our meetings and our breakout sessions on Saturday.
And so that's kind of the Thursday welcome, the reception,
Yes.
stuff like that. Now you said us. Who is us? Is it just strictly the clergy? I mean, can church members of St. Matthew's, can they attend? I mean, I guess my question is, who can attend on this Thursday reception?
We do have members of our church, and because it's in St. Matthew's, and we are having a dinner at St. Matthew's as well, and so those guests who have wanted to come will have registered already.
Okay.
So we've got clergy members and deacons and leadership from the churches that will have registered.
I guess my subliminal question is, I'm always looking for my next meal. Can Steve show up on the Thursday, or is it closed to Steve?
I think that we can
Okay.
certainly get you a place at the table.
Just trying to find a place for dinner, that's all. Okay.
I don't know if we should let Steve in.
Oh, well.
And then on Friday, the convention actually begins. So what are the events that are taking place on Friday?
We have several different meetings that we will be working through, and we'll have breakout sessions with the workshops like what we just talked about. And then we'll have an opportunity to collect and deal with the business and our budget and financing and things like that. And then we'll have a couple of different worship services that we'll have on Friday. But there's also times where we can break out and just, because we're so busy, we don't have a chance to sit down and talk with those that we care for, but we don't have a chance to see them all the time. And so we can sit down and visit and catch up.
And we want to remind everyone that, again, a lot of these events will take place at St. Matthew's Episcopal Church, but also at the Central National Bank Center, where the main convention will take place at the Central National Bank Center. Okay, let's talk a little bit about breakfast. You can tell I got food on my mind, but Saturday morning there's supposed to be a clergy spouse breakfast. Besides eating, what takes place? Or is that it? Just social time?
With the clergy spouse breakfast,
yeah.
that is something that our bishop's wife began several years ago. And the purpose for that was to be able to support clergy spouses as the spouses were supporting the priests and the deacons and the leadership. And yes, they will be eating, but also being able to talk about how the ministries of their spouses are going, and how they can support, but also how they can encourage one another, and an opportunity just to share and visit and feel connected with one another.
I have a question that Steve kind of mentioned earlier, but he was more focused on the food like usual. So who can attend the whole event, not just the Thursday night dinner like Steve wants to know?
Yeah. And what time is dinner? Jenny?
Or breakfast in the morning.
Yeah. I got Saturday breakfast. I got that covered. I'm more concerned about the dinner. Okay, who can attend?
We have our members of clergy, and we have lay leadership from the churches, and for the other events, anyone is welcome. And again, as you mentioned earlier, it is at the convention center for all of Friday and Saturday morning, and so anyone is welcome to come.
Well, perfect. Now you have somewhere to go on Saturday morning.
I'm ready.
And for more information, who should we contact if anyone wants to learn more about the event or where they should be at what time?
Please feel free to call the church, and the information was there on the screen. And you are more than welcome to talk to Father John Tolles, and he is the lead rector at St. Matthew's Episcopal Church.
I'm just curious. I'm not very familiar. Penn, if we could put that photo back up of Janie, can you kind of explain I'm going to say respectfully, the wardrobe? Can you kind of explain, what that's all about? Is there any ceremonial pieces that?
Yeah, sure. You see the white dress that's
Right.
underneath. That's an alb, and we wear that underneath all of our other gear. And the red, that is called a chasuble, and priests wear a chasuble, and the bishop has his shepherd's crook that he has in his hand, and then the bishop also wears his mitre, which is the hat.
Well, I'm not familiar at all with Episcopal Church, if you will, just but in name and people who too attend, but I did not know that. I knew there would be significance to that. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
It's very, very informing. Well, we have just a few seconds. Again, November 1st,
November 1st.
the 81st Annual Episcopal Diocese Convention in Enid, Oklahoma. It's typically elsewhere, but it is at Enid this time, so we are so thankful for that.